So in 2018, Sony released the Sony XA2 Ultra, a huge 6-inch device, right? 16:9 aspect ratio, and it had medium specs, and it was very good for the price, right? In 2019, Sony changed the game with the mid-rangers. They came out with the Sony 10, right? The Sony Xperia 10, huge 21:9 aspect ratio, 6.5-inch phone. But so some people might say, well, easy. The Xperia 10 Plus is too big, huge 6.5-inch display, right? Well, Sony has the regular Xperia. Let's go ahead and unbox this, and I'm going to compare the two and see what it's all about. So get your popcorn ready and follow me on this journey. Let's go. What's up, guys? This is Eric back with another video. So it's 2019. So let's go ahead and take the Xperia XA2 Ultra out of the mix here. And we want to talk about these huge devices here that Sony released with the 21:9 aspect ratio. Let's go ahead and take this one out of the package. This is the younger brother 6-inch device that's made by Sony. So this is the Sony 10. Let's go ahead and power up and see what else kind of good as we get in the box. All right, so you get the usual books and stuff and the Sony stuff. Let's move this to the side. Let's get to the meat of the show. Now, we got different specs here on both of these devices. Not sure why Sony did that, but some unusual specs here as we go along with both of these devices. We got the huge 6.5-inch device here, right? 21:9 aspect ratio. You got the Snapdragon 636 processor with 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage. Kind of strange with the cameras here. You got a 12 megapixel and an 8 megapixel here. Then you have an 8 megapixel up front. That's what this device. So what the Sony 10 have different specs. We got the 630 processor. We got 3 gigs of RAM. We got 64 gigs of internal storage. SD card support on both devices. And on the back, it's strange. We got a 13 megapixel camera and a 5 megapixel camera. In the front, we got an 8 megapixel camera. And we got a 6-inch device with the 21:9 aspect ratio. So it's different, very different. So let me go ahead and put all my information here, and we're gonna go over the OS and run some benchmark tests. And let me give you my thoughts on how both of these devices are. All right, guys, so I got my account information in my Xperia 10. As you can see, the same wallpapers, the same everything. And one of the things I want to show you guys is it is a huge difference there. Right, look at my vantage point here. I've seen a huge difference. Look at the 6.5-inch compared to the 6-inch. This is a lot more manageable, even though it's 21:9 aspect ratio. But this one here is definitely tall and big and slim. Not bulky, but it is definitely slim. And as you can see right there, now look at the camera modules. Now, as you can see, the camera on the 10 Plus protrude a lot, but look at the camera module here. It doesn't protrude as much. So you have less protrusion there with both of these devices if you look. All right. And also, man, both of them feel very heavy, which is solid, right? You got your polycarbonate backs, plastic. You got your fingerprint scanners on the side and everything. So look at this. Boom. Let's go and get out of here. Let's see. Fingerprint scanner. All right. Not the fastest, but it'll do. All right. So not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. And this one here, I have Face ID on that one. So look at that. One thing that I do want to let y'all guys see that I have both devices on full brightness. So let's go to check out some of the brightness here on both devices. See, when you go to the side here, are you seeing a little blue tint? You be the judge for yourself when you're going from when I'm going here. Look like we got a little blue tint shift on both devices. All right, and we run an Android Pie on both devices. So let's go to run some benchmark tests. on here and let y'all guys see the difference between the 636 processor and the 630 processor. So let's go. All right, so here it is, right? We got both of the devices here. And remember, we got the 636 processor with 4 gigs of RAM here on the Xperia 10 Plus, and we got the 630 processor with 3 gigs of RAM on the Xperia 10. So look at the benchmark test here. We got 1345 for single core score and 4839 on multi-core score. And on the regular 10, we got the 873 single core score and 4065 with the multi-core score. Let's put this in perspective here. Let's get last year's model, and I ran benchmark tests here. And so when you're looking at the benchmark test of last year's model, look at that. I want y'all guys to see that. So we're looking at a multi-core score that's better on last year's model compared to this year's model. All right, so let's talk about the performance since we got a slower processor here. And I've been playing around with it for a little while, and you got a smaller screen here, which is 6 inches. And I'm finding myself not having too bad of a performance. Stay tuned for more coverage about that. But looking at the performance so far, it seems to be pretty decent. And I got further testing to do, but navigating through the OS, no problems so far with both of these devices. So let's talk about the displays on both of these devices. What are the selling points of the 21:9 aspect ratios watching videos? So let me fire up some YouTube video and let y'all guys see both of these devices side by side looking at YouTube videos. So we're looking at both of these displays here. As you can see, with the 21:9 aspect ratio, you be the judge for yourself which one you like the best. But putting both of them side by side, it looks great, just beautiful. Now, I'm a huge Star Trek fan, but either device you go with, you have to be advised that you're definitely going to get a much larger canvas with the 6.5 inch 21:9 aspect ratio versus the 6 inch 21:9 aspect ratio. So you do see a difference there when looking at both of these devices. Let me turn this down. Definitely don't want to get hit with copyright, but yeah, look at that. And at my advantage point with the 1080p displays, it is absolutely gorgeous. Very good colors here. And I mean, I've been enjoying watching movies on the 21:9 aspect ratio because you get no bars at the top, and it fills up the whole screen there. And definitely you can watch some movies on Netflix at the 21:9 aspect ratio. But when you're looking at the displays is pretty sharp, pretty nice, and overall it looks good. The viewing angles also looks pretty decent on both of these devices. So when it comes down to the screens, this is one of the reasons why you buy the Sony devices here with the 21:9 aspect ratio. Is because of the displays. So let me give you my conclusion. When looking at both of these devices, I mean, you be the judge for yourself. Obviously, with the 6.5 inch 21:9 aspect ratio on the Plus, you're getting a lot of screen real estate. Also with the specs, you're getting the 636 processor with 4 gigs of RAM versus the 630 with 3 gigs of RAM. Now I'm gonna do a full camera review with both of these devices because we got 13 megapixel camera, 12 megapixel camera. So we might have some differences there when it comes down to footage. Now compared to last year's model, when we look at that last year model, and let me fire this up real quick. Last year model. Now look at the size of this huge 6 inch device. Now look at that. Now when it comes down to the size, it looks like the same length. Well, it's the 10 Plus look like it's a little longer than the X-A2 Ultra, but we got different aspect ratios. We got 21:9 and we got 16:9 aspect ratio here, but you lose some of that forehead and chin. You lose some of the forehead and chin on the newer model. We still got a huge forehead, but we don't have no chin compared to the newer models. Boom. Very manageable in the hand. So there it is. This is Eric from Easy Computer Solutions. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about both of these devices in action. See you guys on the next video. See, I can roll with the smaller one. And the smaller one looks good. I mean, I definitely can roll with it compared to the Plus model, but you be the judge for yourself. Later.